Could this here be a Tesla Model 3 from Kia? This is here the all-new Kia EV4, and it will be available in two different versions. We have here the sedan form, like the very long one, with a length of 4.73 meters or 186 inches. But there will also be a hatch version, a shorter one, which is 30 centimeters or 12 inches shorter at 4.43 meters or 174 inches. Very interesting concept. And here with Thomas Naudegefühl, we'll tell you all about it, and also how does it relate to the Kia EV3 and the EV6. Everything of that now in 4K, full screen and full length. Let's go. Here the front we can see, it is this typical EV face with Kia, closed front grille, a very clean design. We see here the daytime running light in a vertical way, and here then the docked structure for the headlamps. Pretty cool indeed, actually. They also have interesting matte colors, which are not real matte colors, but they appear matte-ish. And you might ask yourself, so wait a minute, if they have the small EV3, then they have the larger EV6, but they are both more or less SUV or crossover-ish. This one now more in the sedan direction, more aiming towards the Tesla Model 3. That's the sense of it. And especially here as the sedan or fastback form, it has a CD value of 0.23, and that is the best one so far. Yes, a Model 3 is better there, but if you consider that an EV6 has a CD value of 0.28, this one is already way better. And recently in our EV6 review, we also found out that when you really floor it on the Autobahn, especially a German problem, when you drive a little bit faster, the consumption goes up. And this will be better with this vehicle here because it just has the better aerodynamic efficiency. This all taken in with 17-inch wheels. That would be the best ones. The ones we can see here actually at this moment are 19-inch, so these are the larger ones. They won't give you the best effect, but you can then switch between like the 17 and the 19-inch. And the sedan has the most unique form, so to speak. This will probably also worldwide be the more important model. This one also being built in South Korea. The hatch version will be built in Europe because that one is specially tailored to the European market. We'll also give you a deeper insight into the hatch version very soon. Quickly towards the rear, also here with the vertical tail lamps. So a very unique design overall, and it looks a little bit like a Kia Stinger in the electric form, doesn't it? And once again with the comparison, wait a minute, the EV6 is just 3 centimeters shorter, so it's more or less the same length like an EV6. However, the price will be lower, so this will be price-wise be above the EV3 but way below the EV6 because this one does not get 800-volt charging architecture. That means charging 10 to 80% will be about 30 minutes each. And the battery sizes, either the bigger one 81 kilowatt hours or the smaller one at 58 kilowatt hours. So this one here is rather using the tech of the EV3, also front-wheel drive, all-wheel drive versions later on, like we also expect with the EV3. And the front-wheel drive versions will have 7.4 or 7.7 seconds in the acceleration figure, depending if you have the small or the bigger battery, 204 horsepower maximum. So it's more trimmed towards pricing, efficiency, everything, and not necessarily to the best charging performance like it is with the EV6. Then again, the price is higher. So this could be more this, this good price performance model. Maybe the best price performance EV at Kia, especially here with the long form because you have more space, and also about the efficiency, of course. And talking about the space, let's check out the trunk, because you see here it is basically a sedan trunk. Look at that. But then again, it's of course very dark at the moment, but here we can also pull this one here to fold the seats, fold around. There we go. And then we can also fold this here, leave some more light in. There we go. And I can also quickly measure it. Go, and in the length, the measurement is like 1 meters 10 or 43 inches. If I measure through to the front seats, that's the cool thing about this vehicle. Look at that, the whole ruler like 2 meters or 78 inches. So this is then the big advantage for this sedan type here. Of course, the EV6, EV3 and so on, and also here the EV4 hatch is then better for like the access to the trunk. What do you think about the design here? And by the way, the hatch, which will also soon show to you, this is a little bit longer than the EV3, so that you get really that the EV4 is in between there. To the interior, inside of the doors, here we have a nice structure on the top part. Then fabric is being used here, different trims will be available. Nice, separate buttons here, seat heating, heated steering wheel, seat cooling, that's cool. And the whole interior is animal free. That's what Kia has been famous for recently. And look at that. This is a high-grade leatherette and it has like a three-dimensional structure I can really feel. So that's new. And then some fabric here for the head restraints to like be a little bit more softer. Also the steering wheel here in the dual tone scheme. This one here is not the GT line. There will also be a GT line available, by the way. If you want a sporty look, then the steering wheel will also look different. But here then, so to speak, the base version of the vehicle. And yeah, this 3D structure is really interesting on the seat. And I feel that seating comfort-wise, this could be like a further development there. Steering wheel, in and out, up and down, manual. To activate the vehicle, here the right lower column you can actually press. Real buttons on the steering wheel, that's also cool to have. For example, right side for the volume, left side here to change something in digital instruments. We have this dual view here, so 12.3 inch each, left and right. So they use some common things and then upgrade other things, and you feel you're sitting rather lower. That's a difference then to their crossover or SUV models there. Leah comes around, but I can also, as a true gentleman, I have to open the door for the beautiful lady, of course. So here we go. You see here the door handles, they come flush in, fold in and out, and there we go. So you can take a look at the cockpit perspective from there. So I think I could be the only one to be able to measure the trunk with the ruler in these short time frames we have here, sadly. Here, the fabric at the dashboard, you can also hear it, how it feels. Then here again, a structure. So I think the use of materials are really good. And still a real temperature dial here. Press up or down for increase or decrease the temperature. Good to have also a manual volume knob. So that's the cool thing. They still keep a classic user interface. You fold this one up. This we know from the this is interesting. Like looks like marble, but it's not, of course. And then you can here fold this one back or forward. This could be the thing like you work maybe like a small table and laptop, or you have a picnic at the charging stop. Because as I said, the charging stop is not that quick here with this vehicle, honestly. But that's a decision again also concerning the price. USB-C charging in the lower part here, either with connection or just charging. 100 watt USB-C output here on the right side. That's actually pretty fancy. And once again, the look at the seat, look at this 3D structure. It is very interesting. It's nicely done, a new technique being used. This high-grade leatherette. And Kia has also introduced that they make more bio-based materials then, either as filler on the doors or also for the surfaces, that they increase the share bit by bit to go full circle. Seat in the lowest position, 1.89 meters, 6'2". It gets close here with the headroom. This one is also one with a small panoramic roof. Let's see here, you can close this shade. Interesting that they don't use like an all-glass roof on the V, but I think it's a good decision. And let's see.
You can sit in the back now?
Oh, wait a minute. Look at that. Look at that. You can actually open that one. That is something we rarely see with EVs nowadays, because they use this glass roof here that you have more headroom. But I think it still fits here for all else, no problem. And a real roof you can actually open. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'll soon move to the back. First of all, a quick look here in front of the instruments. We know this basically from here. You have the view for the climate unit. This is like a separate small screen, and you can also press this one, so both is possible. There's also charging route planning here inside this GPS, but honestly, it's of course not the best GPS system. It's not that quick, not that responsive. So I always feel when I'm driving the Kia EVs, I want to use my Waze or Google Maps or Apple Maps and so on, but then I'm kind of stuck with this system if I want to have this like pre-planning of the charging stops and so on. So that's a little bit critical. Classic store columns for the indicator and so on, and the steering wheel has also a good feeling. You can also set a separate favorite button, and this speed limit chime, I think here it was also just press and hold the mute button, right, the volume button. And a quick driver POV here for you, because I can also show you the head-up display. Then I can move over to the rear. Leah opens, in this case, the door herself. So there we go. Then we have these integrated coat hangers. You can hang a bag over it or maybe a coat, that's cool, and with a nice fabric structure. So I really like the material choice here. USB-C charging in the doors, and then look at that, a lot of legroom. That's cool. Both hatch and sedan have the same wheelbase, by the way. The only thing, of course, with these EV platforms, they have the sandwich architecture, battery in the floor, and that makes your feet higher. And then here the angle of your legs is like this. That's the only downside with almost all EVs. 1A9 602 once again still fits for the headroom, so the user of space is cool. It has this typical sedan rear feeling. Again, like with most other EVs, I would wish that my feet just would be lower. If you're not as tall, if you don't have that long legs, they will be, will be less problematically, definitely, than here. Following this down, there are some cup holders, not adaptive though. And you've seen from trunk, I can fold the seats, isofix here at the outside each, and you have the high grade leatherette with this three-dimensional structure once again in the rear. This floor here, I mean, this is probably here like hand-built stuff. This will be like more flatter than in the final version. I felt it's cool. I usually leave this one here in, and I just take then our our battery vacuum cleaner, just with the with the normal long thing for the floor, and I just like vacuum clean it like I do like a normal carpet at home or something like that. That's very actually practical thing to do. So good that they use this EV flat for and make it all the way flat. I can also use this gentleman function, by the way, and move this seat here, or for example for chauffeur purposes in the rear here with these buttons, and this can also be of course reclined then for this relaxation function. Once again, when you are at a charging stop and want to have some more relaxation and so on, then you can also use this relaxation function. So yeah, Leah probably will look out for that when we are at the next charging stop with this one here. So yeah, my favorite definitely the space, length, aerodynamics, and the choice of materials with this one. This one, especially in the sedan form, being the most aerodynamic one, we can check out how aerodynamic is it, especially on the motorway. I'm not sure if it's maybe like a German thing or something. We of course have higher speeds on the Autobahn in Germany. That's why I'm also tuning into our channel always. But then we have a problem if you want to drive a little bit faster. All the EVs, they exceed the consumption figures so much. So I'm really looking forward to if this one will be better than here, especially if you consider the EV6. And then here in the front, by the way, you have the charging flap. This is here, I think at the moment, the Korean standard, not the EU standard. Of course, it will be updated to your market. But you can see here that it's in the right front on the passenger side. What else is interesting, of course, to know if there is a frunk or not. So we can check this one out and see about that. That's always a crucial thing. I'm not sure, do you remember here the EV3 also had one, right? The small one, and here. In this case not. That's interesting. I mean, there is some space here, but not sure if that's enough space for a frunk later on. We'll also keep you updated on that, but at this moment it does not look like that. So that's indeed a surprise. Top speed, 170 kilometers an hour or 106 miles per hour. That's important. And the AC charging speed will be at 11 kilowatt. So no 22 available there. However, you can also get a heat pump, and then also the bi-directional charging is possible. So they offer this function that you have an adapter and you can charge some devices. And the trunk capacity is at 490 liters for the sedan. For the hatch, it would be 435 liters. And now let's check out the hatch version. And here we have our second vehicle for today. First of all, a different color, a darker one, like this very dark gray one. And this one is also the hatch version, very interesting. And as I said, massive length difference. This one here is 30 centimeters or 12 inches shorter at 4 meters 43 or 174 inches. By the way, this makes it about 13 centimeters longer than the Kia EV3. By the way, here, sedan or fastback versus this hatch, the same wheelbase. It's really about the overhang where the sedan just continues right here. This one then is shorter and yeah, has this rather upright building style right here. You can see interesting design here, by the way. We rarely see that this is like a straight bar. And then we can see the vertical tail lamp signature right here. And I always find the hazard lights, we've already shown you that with the sedan as well. Here, that looks pretty cool when you look at that. here because it looks like a battery status indicator, doesn't it? Well, and the hatch is of course all about the hatch. We can see it right here. So you can load things in and out easier. That's the advantage. But then again, the disadvantage is here the length. For the sedan or the fastback was at 1 meters and 10 or 43 inches. That would be here. And here we are more at 80 centimeters or 32 inches. So this is what you, this is like what you lose in length if you go for the hatch. Then again, you gain this easier accessibility. Here underneath, you also have some space for the charging cables, for example. There we go. And the width we can also measure right here. This is about 1 meter or 40 inches. And yeah, this massive cover, it's very interesting. I mean, have you ever seen a brown inside of the trunk here? So that is something really peculiar. To fold the seats, you can, for example, also reach over here. That is also possible. And then, I mean, you know that the centimeters we lose approximately. And then here the total length to the seats is about 1.75 meter or 68 inches. I mean, it's still very well usable. The question is what you really want to do with it. Of course, the hatch won't have the best CD value in comparison to sedan because when the cars are longer, it's better for the aerodynamic flow, definitely. Then we can check out some of the interior here because this car is also, you know, just a different one. Let's see if we find any differences with the hatch. We have a different exterior color, but since this is here also the base line, so to speak, so not the GT line, we have more or less this same interior. And let's see if we find any interesting differences here. So let me put the seat in the lowest position. There we go. This here without the panoramic roof. We have to see later if there's one available, maybe not. Gotta see about that. Not all information are set up yet. Yeah, this is not too different here. Seating position more or less the same. So it's more that we have like the trunk as a difference. And I mean, there is a, say, like they have the same wheelbase actually. Maybe we put this seat here also up a little bit. Oh, wait a minute. I can, this one does not have the extra equipment that you can control at the side, but here also electric seat then for the passenger, but this one here not with the special extra equipment. Glove box we can also check out. Here is actually quite spacious. You see here, these are hand-built vehicles. It's the first vehicle that is built there, so you cannot expect a perfect build quality here yet. Of course, we'll keep you updated when we have later the car for driving. This one has not the table here, so this is a different middle console with a splitter and space. And honestly, I feel the space on the middle console here under the armrest is better than the usable table. That's at least my 2 cents. Then here you have an inductive charging pad. However, this does not look like any ventilation at all. Let's just remove that for a second here. See here, there's no ventilation hole here. This is also not a ventilation hole. So the phones might overheat. That's why I usually use the cable, and they still offer that. And here you can either have this very large storage area here, or you push them in, that goes like bang. And then you have the cup holders. However, since they only have one adaptive holder here, some smaller bottles might be tingling back and forth around and so on. So gotta look out for that. Let's check out the rear compartment in comparison. And you can see, as for legroom, we have the same legroom because it's the same wheelbase, so that's very well usable. And for the headroom, you see here that works very well. I mean, it worked both in both times actually. Or do you think it was less in the sedan? Maybe we have to scroll back. Yeah. No. I think it's maybe a little bit less in the sedan, a little bit, but I think both well usable definitely. And this is all again the same. And let's see here. Here you can also fold from here. That would be like a 2/3, 1/3 split. There's no separate ski hatch available as I see it here now because this part here is connected. In the front I have some storage in here. And once again with the air vents and the USB-C chargers are actually quite cool that you can charge them here when you just have smartphones here in the rear. And yeah, the only thing once again with the high floor, that's like this general EV problem. We can also check out if this missing frunk in the sedan was maybe just a coincidence or not. So let's check it out here in the front. Open this one because we want to examine it for you as good as possible. This dark gray also fits the car very well, right? So let's check it out. This one has like a cover here for the electric motor, so make it more beautiful. I guess the sedan version will also get it, but you see here for the space we have, here is a 12-volt battery. At least they have proper 12-volt batteries, right? So some new EVs use smaller ones, like high-performance smaller ones that even empty themselves even more, but that's actually cool. This, by the way, the key fob. Also the same from the Kia EV3, by the way. And I would like to know from you guys, which one do you prefer visually here, the hatch or the sedan? And I think with this vehicle, well, this one here is built in Europe, the hatch version, so this aimed at the European market, maybe also with tight parking space and so on, and it will give you more space than the EV3. So at first I was kind of skeptical, like what's the reason to go for this one? But if you compare the EV3, this one here has much more legroom. This is like the key difference. So it can also be used with rear passengers. And if you compare it with EV6, this one here will be less expensive. But of course the sedan, or this, you know, I mean, it looks like a fastback, but it is a sedan because of the separate trunk. I think the sedan is more unique in a way that it has this really large and long trunk, and of course the better aerodynamics. And I think it also looks a little bit more stunning than this one. What's your take on that? And this is here the GT line with stronger, darker, so this black contrast, a sportier styling, both exterior and also a different interior. So I'm going to show that to you. Interesting to know, by the way, that yes, it will start with front-wheel drive, but there will be all-wheel drive versions also later. And next to the GT line, which is the visual stuff, there will also be a true GT. So EV4 GT, then of course also with all-wheel drive and then with the strongest acceleration and performance. So here, quick walk through here on the exterior. These are also the 19-inch wheels with a more dramatic design, then more black contrast here also in the lower part. And this comes then closer to an EV6 in styling, honestly, and I mean, this then in this case the hatch. Of course, there will also be the sedan then, for example, in the GT line, but this one here then hatch GT line. Stronger accentuation here in the lower part, for example. And then I can directly lead you over to the interior, where we have different seats, different colors and so on. Wow, look at these seats. I mean, they look really different and interesting, aren't they? So a completely different structure also on the seat. This also a high-grade leatherette. And I mean, this is once again something that on the one hand, it is a visual thing. So you see also this perforation. It's on the one hand passively cooling, but you also have the active seat cooling here at the inside of the doors. And because you have this structure in the seat, it also once again serves a comfort function. That's really interesting, and also really comfortable once again from these head restraints. Only thing here is, this, by the way, combination here, hatch and panoramic roof, and you see it's more or less the same. You have this sunshade here, and you can also really open that one. It does get close here with the headroom then, right? If you have here the, I mean, it's okay, but you feel you are in the electric vehicle segment in this platform, and you always feel that you're sitting relatively high inside. Yeah, now maybe I leave it open and get some more light in actually. And here we can see also dual tone scheme here, black and white, or this beige I would call it, or maybe as a color expert. So is it a beige or is it a white? Beige. It's a beige? Yeah. Okay, it's a beige. Also depends on the on a golden beige. Okay, thank you.
Also golden.
Oh, interesting. And we also have a different steering wheel. This is the GT line steering wheel, you can see, different in the spoke design. And once again, interesting dual scheme here also. So they are a little bit more daring here actually in the design. So looking forward to if you would pick the GT line or the base line, tell me in the comments. And of course, if you would go for the sedan or for the hatch. But yeah, we can take a look at the rear as well, because this looks also, again, different. Once again, the hatch then here with the GT line. Once again, a lot of legroom. This is also the main difference, by the way, to the Kia EV3. That here in the EV4, you have massive amounts of legroom. And once again, the design we can see in the front also for the rear seats here. Pretty cool. And I did check it up in the video, by the way, that the trunk length of 80 centimeters in the hatch here, that is the same in the EV3 hatch. So the difference, EV3 hatch and EV4 hatch, is really the length in legroom in the rear. And to the EV4 sedan, here to this one, and also the EV3 that you have the longer trunk. And the official prices, they are not yet out or not yet confirmed yet. What we can say is that this one here is price-wise a little bit above the EV3, but not that close to the EV6 because it only has the simple charging architecture. And that means if we take current EV3 prices and then guess a little bit, this will be somewhat between 40 and 50,000 euros for the front-wheel drive versions. The all-wheel drive versions probably then a little bit more expensive. So I expect maybe like a GT-Line high-spec all-wheel drive, then maybe at 55,000 euros, something like that. So this will be approximately a spend, and of course we'll keep you updated on that, and really looking forward to drive this one here. And especially, as I said, as the sedan for the consumption at higher speeds. And for an outlook, what's to come at Kia, the next electric vehicle model, the smallest one, this will be the Kia EV2. Very rectangular, strong SUV look. Reminds us a little bit of the EV3, but actually in this case even stronger, and it's supposed to be very, very close to final production as it looks right here. Probably the main headlamp unit will be somewhere, that's maybe the thing, but in general the design will be very close. And something that will probably not come is this, this suicide door. This will be probably normal doors, but it's a very interesting interior concept. Soon more to that. Let's quickly check out the rear, which is really, really short from the overhang. You can see here the star structure once again they have with their tail lamp design, and we can expect a rather short trunk indeed with this one, but it has this strong SUV look. Definitely will be a city SUV. That's why they haven't paid so much attention to aerodynamics here, because obviously this form won't be the most aerodynamic one. We have 20-inch wheels on this. Might not be the case that it gets 20-inch in the final model, but it looks of course stunning. And then here, in this case, the concept suicide door opening. They use even more interesting materials, for example, as a filler material to go more into bio-based materials. They left it open here now, so you can actually see it, but this one is a mycelium filler material, so like the roots from mushrooms, and they can be used like as a kind of fabric. That's also, for example, there are leatherette types based on mycelia already, but in this case here, it won't be seen later on. They just left it open for showcase purposes here, but this can be used as a filler for dampening, for sound dampening and so on. Very interesting. And then here, this interior, you can see it has like this like a special form of a steering wheel. That's very interesting. Red fabric here, different new colors. And here, once again, leatherette is being used. And we can also see here these three-dimensional structures right here to leave a little bit more air in. And this bench design, both in the front and in the rear, we can soon show you also something of the flexibility. The dashboard, you can see, this approach is similar to the current models. It goes from left to right in like one design. Let's see if we can see more of that soon. This one does not have physical buttons, but we can see something of that. So I think Kia and Hyundai in the cooperation, they have received the feedback from the customers that they still want real buttons. And I also will expect that in the Kia EV2 here actually. Looking forward also to your feedback. How do you rate this concept? But the most interesting part here is now to see how flexible it actually is on the interior. Now we can show you something of the interior flexibility. We're not allowed to change it ourselves. The Kia official will help us here to move this arrangement. So here, first of all, this rear bench there, this can be moved upwards, so you're more flexible. As for the loading space, for example, you can move things in, but you can also move this whole bench backward here. So there we go. And then you have a lot of space in the front, maybe like for a picnic situation. And if you really want to sit outside, there's here, look at that, it's a hidden mechanism. And then you can also take out this pillow here and take a seat at the side. Oh, now touched it.